Capricorn Pholus and Vesta in transit coming to in conjunction. And in this conjunction, there is a trine that's already prepared concerning Taurus, Uranus in retrograde, and also South Node, Virgo. Understand, this trine or favorable aspect that releases benefit, gain, opportunity, forward motion, and surprisingly, ease that feels very natural. As I explained in this discourse, December 3rd, what should take place, building up to that time or a little after, Vesta and Pholus is going to receive support from the South Node Virgo, as the South Node Virgo process is working favorably for the unexpected events that could lead to a change in mind or change in course concerning what devotions you have and commitments at Capricorn that have been ongoing, that have been a legacy in your life, and that has very deep roots in whatever institution that it manifests from. The South Node Virgo is going to remind us that internally we have reconnected and we have found ourselves, and we have found the small still voice that seems to guide us to our destiny every time. It also reminded us at the South Node Virgo that we are not at the mercy of any person or resources, but we are at the mercy of Source. And Source expects that we utilize our power of consent, our accountability, and within the guidelines of matriarchal wisdom, that we affirm and confirm and construct our destiny without expecting that we would escape due process. Understand? And now, the South Node Virgo, number 9 vibration, is working with this. So what that tells us as well is frugality, and considering what you learn from frugality, the ability to sustain yourself with less than what you're used to, the ability to draw upon a focused and sober demeanor that is grounded and realistic in any idea that you form, that you will approach it from the most realistic measure. Also, South Node Virgo is having us to let go and release any shame, narcissism, or overthinking, as well as self-criticism that may prevent us from going the most sincere route that we should, which without the South Node Virgo process that we have been going through, pride may have been in the way. Narcissism could have been in the way. Arrogance and ego could have been in the way. And going on these futile, ambitious missions to compete rather than find the clarity to make decisions that brings a sense of fulfillment and purpose into the life. Number 9 vibration certainly aligns us with that sincere intention without being beguiled by the splendor and illustrious light, the deceiving light of Venus when it is in shadow detriment. And what's also enshrined to this is Uranus at Taurus, which is in retrograde. We are reconsidering what is valuable to us. We are reconsidering what stability even means. We're reconsidering what really should be under our feet as our base and grounding in our life. So the unexpected turn of events that ends up manifesting from 10th house, your career, the responsibilities that you've been used to inheriting and the status that you have there, that the things that you were known for so long, it could be subject to a sudden change under the jurisdiction of Uranus and Taurus. Uranus could have us to go a route that is certainly most authentic, but it may not hold clarity in other sites or even in your own sight how the events unfold. it might not make sense at first. It may seem like something terrible has happened or this can't be good. Well, I beg to differ, and I'm here to give you glad tidings that that event, it will surely be good. It will align you with your purpose, and you will find that your ability to claim stability is closer in reach than what you thought. So, considering this Earth trine aspect that does harmonize with the conjunction of Pholus and Vesta, let's listen up and get some details about this, reflect on it for a personal insight into this. You got to get with me so that I can give you a reading behind the scenes, and we could get down, get busy, you know what I'm saying, get into the details and understand what's going on, Let's go. On December 3rd, you want to mark on your calendar, building up to the 3rd, or a little after the 3rd. This energy is getting active as we speak. It's building up. And that is the conjunction between Pholus and Vesta and Capricorn. Pholus I like to describe as this asteroid that brings about a Pandora's effect, starting with small instances, events, and incidents. This has the effect of, for example, you have a little string on your pants or your sweater, and you pull that string just to loosen it, and the whole stitch unravels unexpectedly. So this has to do with Capricorn, which is the death of the infrastructures, the downfall of the centralized infrastructures that we now have moved on from. We no longer are investing our identities into it. But there's still things there that has to be shaken off, just like in the fall time, where the leaves die and the winds have to come to push the dead leaves to detach from the branch and cover the ground in order to ferment and bring richness and nutrients to the soil over the winter in preparation for the spring. Understand? Pholus in Capricorn, it's separating us as each impulse or planet makes transit or aspect with Pholus. That old world behind us of the Rothschild Rockefeller model. The attachment and commitment that we once had, the devotion that we once had to corporate ideals, corporate identities, corporate legacies, corporate ambitions, as well as being subjugated to the illusions and deception of secret societies and such that are well embedded in these de facto government infrastructures. So Pholus is there to make sure that every impulse that we have that passes and makes aspect to Pholus, that it gets on board, it gets aligned with the intent of realizing this force or impulse is no longer to be used in the context of these particular aims of Capricorn, number 8, shadow, the devil card, or Machiavellian aspirations. These things are being purged from our system. Now, when it relates to Vesta, Vesta is where we concentrate our devotion for our highest intentions, which obviously would be a service, a noble and righteous service. We have noble and righteous intentions when it comes to Vesta. And it's all from the heart that we're there. It's because of the principles or virtues that we live by that justifies our reason for performing such services. So when Vesta conjuncts Pholus in Capricorn, it is your devotion, it is your commitment, the legacy of your devotion and commitment, the timeline behind you, and what you have been used to, the patterns of your devotion and commitment to the corporate engine, the corporate system, where we were fooled, we were bamboozled, we were tricked into simple servitude while we're chasing the carrot or the doggy biscuit, and the masters walk away counting money, and we were used. Psychological warfare was played on us, one put against the other. What are you going to do? All kinds of issues and problems that comes from this old system. So Vesta conjunct Pholus, when this events happen, December the 3rd, Wednesday, December the 3rd, you can have a unique realization. You can have an epiphany at that time that all that you have been committing to and sacrificing for concerning these corporate ambitions, it's no longer something that you're able to justify. It's no longer something you're able to make excuses for. It's something that you no longer feel committed to enough to continue driving in that direction. It's a sudden epiphany that, I'm wasting my time, I'm spinning my wheels, this is futile for me to continue investing in this aim and intention. There's something bigger here for me. There's something greater. There's something that is more sincere to who I am. There's something that's more fitting to my identity that I could devote myself to as a meaningful pursuit or venture in my life, and this is no longer a part of it. I don't desire to climb the corporate ladder. I don't desire to have that really nifty position. I'm not even concerned about that little crummy ass raise and the pizza party that they throw every year. I don't care anymore to continue going in this direction because it doesn't show me a visual of my future. I'm not seeing a future in it. I'm not seeing my potential being put to good use. I'm seeing a waste of my potential and of my talents, of my status and identity. And you know what? My mind is made up about it. So we could expect that this as an experience will occur, and it is in opposition to it's not a dead opposition, okay? But it is a natural opposition to Jupiter in Cancer. Jupiter in Cancer, and you know that Jupiter is retrograde, so Jupiter's retrograde internally very well could be what helps us to realize what is more important or what should hold more gravity in what we're considering. Jupiter has an intense gravitational pull, especially because of its size and mass. So that pull is certainly going to be heavier than our doubts or hesitations to respond to this Capricorn Pholus conjunct Capricorn Vesta transit. That Jupiter is going to home in for us on an optimistic outlook, a creative outlook on how we can be resourceful with family, Cancer, how we could be resourceful with our ability to show up for people and deliver unique forms of care, security, or advocacy, and how that might be able to spell out my way out if I'm creative enough to arrange it in a way where it could be that effective. Understand? So there's great things that's coming out of these transits right now. All right? So just looking ahead, you want to put that on the calendar that these realizations will come near. Now, as I clarified in an earlier video concerning Sagittarius, Mars and Juno conjunction, this ninth house stellium is now going to set the basis for what our new character is to look like, what our new reputation is to consist of, what we will be known for from here on out, the capacity of responsibilities and duties that should be clarified as we make strategies so that we can show up and perform in a way that's satisfactory to whatever our duties and responsibilities are. This obviously describes the 10th house. It also includes career ambitions that we may have that are not necessarily along the line of corporate ideals, but along the lines of what services that we realize we have the potential to deliver that seems to answer the questions for those of your community. And this comes back to who we are collectively, Aquarius Pluto, okay, as we realize these things all together. So this is a 10th house focus, and Capricorn also. You want to look at your Capricorn placement to verify where is or what type of themes that this is going to be in the context of. It's going to be in the house themes of your Capricorn natal placement. It also universally is going to be our 10th house. Understand? So Vesta has us committed to a character that is capable of taking on a divine or heavenly assignment here in the earth from the higher self rather than from the dense, fictitious character, the biochemical person who has volunteered and consented to a status of the 14th Amendment, which is an illusion. And we are realizing that we have more power, we have more options and capability, gifts to deliver an experience that answers all of the questions that we have as the people. And this, I mean, in form of services, obviously. So this could mean independence for you. It could mean realizing what it's going to take to give yourself the independence that you're looking for, where there doesn't have to be compromise between security, stability, and your inner child's, your commitment to your inner child, and the ways that you want to express freedom and claim greater abundance for yourself by taking chances and risks as the stellium passes through Sagittarius. Understand? So this is something we want to look at and look forward to. The 10th house is becoming very important. And they're supported by the 9th house, also supported by Vesta and Pholus in Capricorn. Okay, so between our philosophy at the 9th house and our character, responsibilities, and duties at the 10th house, the status that we are striving for as well, we have to remember what we learned from Scorpio. We have to remember what we learned from Scorpio. We also have to remember what we learned from the futility and having all of these corporate ambitions and aspirations when, come to find out, we're much bigger than the limitations of that design. We are much greater than the limitations of that design. And our creativity and our wisdom, our compassion, our sensitivity to the needs that we all have along the lines of advocacy and care, security, welfare, and all of these different things. This is where the solutions are going to come from in contemplating these things and keeping sight of your identity and the gifts that you have that you walk with on the earth. You want to investigate your 5th house because you want to understand what gifts did you come with, what talents did you come with, what are the things that would give you absolute joy and fulfillment in doing if you got up and did it every day. Understand that. These are things that we do want to clarify. The 9th house also goes in context of your life path. Understand, your life path. Because the 9th house is to extend beyond your experience, to extend beyond what you're used to reach beyond what you grew up in or what you were raised in or what the legacy was in your family. You are expanding to make contact with what can confirm greater truths about yourself and about the meaning of your life. So your life path is most certainly the context of the ninth house. You want to understand your life path, which is not to be misunderstood for your heart, soul, urge expression. You need to know your life path. Your life path is going to help you to understand what the stellium in Sagittarius is trying to get you to and align you with. What it's trying to fulfill for you. What is that vibration? What is that meaning? What will it consist of? What does it look like? What should you be prepared? What should you be prepared to embrace and grab hold on as you're evolving into a new movie title, for your life? So, understanding the sign aspects and impulses of the ninth house, it helps you in the reflection of, in my life path, according to my life path, what experiences has my soul chosen for me to grow and evolve? What experiences are critical for me to have in order to make a life that is fulfilling? What are the things that I must learn from a higher learning perspective, ninth house, that are unique to my own head and destiny and philosophy? What is behind the character that I'm supposed to have at the 10th house? What is behind my capacity to show up in a responsible manner or trustworthy manner at the 10th house, according to my destiny? So these are questions that we want to ask. Where are the teachers? Where are the experience? Where are those who are more knowledgeable than me? Where are the circumstances and situations, experiences that I can initiate into that helps me to find confidence in the things that I should know or learn? So anyway, if you would like personal insights into this, you want to schedule for a natal birth chart or inquiry so you can stay ahead, this is definitely a reading of numerology, if you should consider to do that. Saturn going in direct motion as Vesta and as Vesta and Pholus are in conjunction at Capricorn. Saturn, is taking part in this. So Saturn's direct motion is to put grit, an anchored, grounded, realistic perspective, the memory of what accountability has to look like and responsibility has to look like, and also the willpower through discipline, order, structure, and obedience, so that whatever it is that we realize through the conjunction of Pholus and Vesta, we will be fortified and supported by Saturn in that direct motion to grab hold of the proper concepts, which is Pisces, that points us in the direction of a new reality to where we're able to gauge and relate to a visual of where we need to go, And Saturn's going to be helping that, as well as Neptune is going to be helping with that vision also. So as Pholus and Vesta has this effect where, for example, when Pholus is in Capricorn, there are ancient, long-lived legacies of disingenuous, illegal, inappropriate, or very limited circumstances as it relates to careers, as it relates to responsibilities that we have been so devoted to. And this gets exposed through that. And at that time, you have the confidence still from Saturn's direct motion, feeling that you have the grit, the strength, and the discipline to do something about what you realize. And Jupiter has us to remember the interest and priority that we owe to the inner child in whatever it is that we do, as well as our position, role, and service that we owe to our community, our clan, our tribe, or those who we love, as well as not violating the duty and obligation that we have to also place ourselves in proper care always. Okay, not being negligent about that. Speaking of care, Ceres is at the second degree of Aries, and is still picking up influence from Neptune. So, it's to express the fact that I'm keeping my own ideal outlooks and commitments to what care means for myself, how to care for myself, what I need for myself. And the self as in, I have to nurture my identity. I have to keep my identity nurtured because nobody else is going to do it except for me. Understand? And that's in the trine still. Okay, what's going on in Sagittarius as well as Leo. Okay, and because that has a trine to Leo, it's also trining fifth house themes and subject matters. Understand? So with all of this going on, think about it, reflect about it, talk about it with your loved ones and all of that. You heard? The infamous